All right. So we're back again. The practical things that you can do to sleep. What to do to sleep. Now, there are a couple of things that I'm going to tell you. And it's based on the science again. Um, they're doing a lot in sleep science because of the fact that society is so sleep deprived. Most people will complain of something about sleep. It's either they wake up at 3 a.m., they can't get back to sleep. They spend a long time trying to fall asleep. They just do not sleep before 12 o'clock. Some of them just don't sleep at all because they're trying to miss deadlines. A lot of people have sleep trouble. And so we want to get some information that'll help us. First of all, get comfortable. So if you're going to sleep, make sure you have a good pillow. Some of us are side sleepers. Some of us are back sleepers. Some of us are belly sleepers. I'm an everything sleeper. I sleep on everywhere. So that's harder for me. But I've always gotten great sleep. The only time I haven't gotten great sleep has been after a car accident because I had so much pain and I had shoulder pain. And this is the only thing that affects me if I have pain in getting sleep. But you want to make sure you have a good pillow that will support you so that you are in a comfortable position. You want to make sure that you have a good bed. Not a bed that will sink you because you don't want to be sunk. You want to make sure that you have comfort while sleeping. It needs to be a comfortable environment while sleeping. So you want to make sure that you have air. And when I said air, I mean oxygen in the room when you're sleeping. A lot of people have sleep apnea. A lot of people have all sorts of different things. And you want to make sure that you have enough air coming in your room. Now, I live in the jungle. That's where my home is. And I have a lot of air coming in. I don't have air conditioning. I have a lot of air coming in my room. And this helps with sleep. I have a lot of light coming in my room. So it's daytime. And so the light that you're seeing here is just the light of the day. It comes in my room and it bathes me. And it's alerting my suprachiasmatic nucleus that it's light. And I'm very well adapted to my biological clock. And my adenosine begins to build up because I'm up every morning with the sun, like literally with the sun. And so my, pressure is nicely built up so that I have no problem with sleep pressure, and my body will tell me, LaToya, it's time to sleep. And if I try to go past the hour, I can become almost, there are just a few times in my life when I'm up like at midnight and I could feel myself almost feels as if I can't function. It's like I can't think. Everything is just closing in because, again, of that sleep pressure. So comfortable, make sure your room is comfortable. Make sure your room is a happy place. Your bedroom must be a happy place. Your bed, everything that's here must be a happy place. If you're sleeping with someone, you have to decide how that's going to go. Some couples find it better to sleep in separate beds. Now, I'm not a big fan of that simply because I don't think it's great for intimacy, but it might be great for sleep. Some people sleep intertwined because some men, they've allowed their spouse or their girlfriend or their child even to sleep so much on one arm that it doesn't go dead in the night. And so some can sleep very intertwined, and that works. And some people sleep better that way. They like to feel somebody close to them. And some people do not sleep well that way, and they sleep kind of like on opposite sides of the bed. They might touch with their toes or with their hands or something, but they actually sleep better not touching. That's something for you to decide which one of those you sleep better with. And then that's going to help you with sleep. So the other thing is you want to eat breakfast. Eating breakfast helps you to sleep. Why? Because again, it's part of your biological clock. So when you eat in the morning, it says, aha, now is daytime. That means I need just energy to work and to move and so on. And then if at nighttime you skip dinner, or if you call it supper, but we call it dinner here in my country. If you skip dinner, or if you eat dinner, like if you're very poor, you know, a couple of crackers, maybe some fruit, or maybe some vegetable broth or something like that, then your body's like, okay, I don't have any energy. It must be time to sleep. Because at sleep time, your body doesn't need to be digesting anything. Your body wants all the energy, and digestion takes the second most energy of the body, the brain and then the digestion. Your body doesn't want to share energy with digestion when it's sleeping. It wants to repair, it wants to rebuild, it wants to do what it does, and it wants all of that energy. So when it doesn't get the energy, the body says, aha, well, I guess so. It's time for sleep. This will happen even in the process of fasting. Even when people are fasting, they'll find themselves more sleepy even during the day. Because again, you're telling your body, it's time for sleep. That's why I'm not eating. So breakfast like a king, lunch like a queen, dinner like a pauper is helpful for good sleep. Avoiding alcohol and nicotine, they're brain stimulants. So avoid any brain stimulant. Because you don't want a brain stimulant when you're sleeping. You just want to be able to sleep, right? Microbiome is very important for sleep. All the little aliens inside you, when they're happy, you'll sleep better. Therefore, make sure that they're happy. How do you do that? Make sure that you're eating fiber-rich foods. Don't snack. Drink a lot of water. Use a probiotic if you've ever used an antibiotic, or if you had a cesarean section as a child. Use probiotics and plant-based yogurts and things of that nature, kimchi and so on, and get yourself, your microbes really happy. They'll help you to sleep. Cooperate with the sleep pressure and the body clock. So what do I mean by cooperate with the sleep pressure and the body clock? Don't use caffeine. Don't use anything that's going to affect your sleep pressure. And remember, even if you drink a cup of coffee at, I don't know, 8 a.m. in the morning, because the half-life is 5 to 7 hours, it's still going to be in your system 10 hours later. And suppose you've been drinking several cups of coffee during the day, you're going to be in real trouble. And this doesn't only mean coffee. This means chocolate. Chocolate biscuits, chocolate cake, chocolate anything. Dark chocolate is worse for sleep. And so you don't want to use anything like that. You want to cooperate. You want to cooperate with your body clock. Again, in the morning, make sure you get sunlight. This suprachiasmatic nucleus works with light. The pineal gland, they appreciate the light coming in through the eyes. You know, some people that are blind have a rough time sleeping, but you don't need to see in order for the light to penetrate the eyes. Kiss the sun is what I tell people. Enjoy the sun. Oh, it's so pleasant to behold the sun. Go outside, get some light, get some, and when it's, suppose it's like a cold day or overcast day or something like that, then even then there's some light penetrating. And cooperate. When you feel sleepy, sleep. Which brings me to my next one, practice sleep. Now, when we're looking after patients, sometimes people have really poor bowel movements, and we'll tell them to practice going to the bathroom. So choose a time when you're going to go to the bathroom, and you're just going to go in the toilet and sit there with a 6-inch stool to put you in a squatting position. And as long as you're doing the other things, then usually after a while, your body will figure out, oh, it's time for me to do number 2. Well, similarly, your body needs to figure out it's time for you to sleep. Maybe your habit has been staying up till 3 o'clock. Stop. At 9:30, go to bed and lie down. Teach your body, this is time. This is when I want to sleep. This is when I want to sleep. Teach your body, and your body will learn, this is when I want to sleep. It'll take a moment, because habits take a moment to learn, but your body will adapt to you. You are in control of your body. It's accumulative. Remember that sleep preparation begins at sunset. It really is all through the day, but it begins at sunset. So 1, you don't want to nap if you have sleep problems, because again, that removes some of the adenosine, so it removes some of the sleep pressure, and you don't want that to happen, right? You don't want that to happen to you at all. So you want to make sure that you are, again, cooperating with the sleep pressure and the whole idea. So if you're going to take a melatonin, for example, then you're going to want to take your melatonin at 6 p.m. in the night. Now, sometimes you need to take far more than 5 milligrams, and I know that's what it says on the bottle. Natural is the brand that I suggest if people want to take it. And you don't have to take it. And with melatonin, you're going to have to be careful in this way. So some people have to take 20 milligrams to fall asleep, and I'll tell them take it like this. So at 6 o'clock, 5 milligrams. At 6:30, 5 more milligrams. At 7, 5 milligrams. At 7:30, because again, it's accumulative, because that's how melatonin does. It's accumulative. That's how it, but some of us we have been so sleep deprived, and really we're melatonin deficient. We're everything deficient because everything is just out of balance, and we're trying to bring it into balance. So you need to remember that. And if you're using sedative herbs, and there are a couple of sedative herbs that work really well. So I usually tell people choose 5 of them. Yeah, I tell people choose 5 sedative herbs and drink them all through the day. Drink the herbs all through the day. It takes about 24 hours for herbs to really get into the system. So you would drink it all through the day, again, accumulative effect. And the ones that I would suggest are valerian, catnip, chamomile, skullcap, hops. I think those are really good for sleep health. And so you would take a nice, dose of that and get yourself going all through the day. Remember, again, it's accumulative. So what do you do at 6 sunset? If you really are trying to get your sleep going, you turn off all your devices. Just get rid of all your devices from sunset. The trouble with devices is that they have blue light. And this light tells us it's sunlight. And sunlight tells the biological clock it's not time to sleep. Remember, it works on the clock. It wants night. So night does have like a soft moonlight, but that's not what's coming from the devices. So of course you can put on blue light filters. A lot of people told me that that's helped. But I think it's even better if you're really trying to sleep and you're really an insomniac, just turn off all the devices. When sunset reaches, and if you're living in a world where sunset does not reach you, when 6 p.m. reaches you, turn off all the lights. Turn off all the device lights. And then you want to play with the lights in your house. So you don't want the white lights. We put our lights usually above in our homes. This is a mistake again, because the lights above says it's the sun, because sunlight comes from above. No. What people have really been doing in the sleep labs, they're putting lights on the ground, and the kind of lights they're putting on the ground are lights with yellow and orange and red tones, because that's the light of, say, for example, a campfire. So if you go around and you sit around a campfire, there would be light. That campfire light will not bother your sleep. You can leave the campfire light on, and you can go in your tent and get in your sleeping bag, and it will not affect your sleep at all. Because that kind of light is actually helpful to sleep. Makes you feel all warm and kind of cuddly. So that's helpful, but the lights above are not. So if you're trying to sleep again, and you're really preparing to slow down your sleep, then you want to make sure that your bedroom, the lights on the top, even before the time, long before 9:30, they're off. Your lights in your bathroom, the lights at the top are off, and you just have these little like guiding lights at the bottom that are this nice soft tone, so that all you're seeing is that. Again, you're telling your body it's time to sleep. So breathe deeply and adopt a slower rhythm. I just have my points on the screen. Breathe deeply and adopt a slower rhythm. So let me put this over here. I love my pillow. So breathe deeply. So as you're getting to sleep, your body is supposed to be slowing the breath rhythms until finally you fall off. And the rhythms become deeper and deeper as you fall off. Now you can do this manually, or you can do it by having a pre-recorded sound. So for example, if you put a river or stream, that's the pre-recorded sound, and you put that on, and again, you want to put it on, not at 9:30 when you go into the bed, but even before. So you're listening to that 8 o'clock, 8:30. Then what happens is that your body adapts to that sound. So if that sound is a slow shh, shh, your breathing eventually is going to adapt to until you're falling asleep. That's why the songs of water is so helpful for sleep. We'll adapt, our bodies will adapt to songs that we hear, and that's why it's so important that you be so very careful with the kind of music that you're listening to. But you can do this to yourself. So you can do it by creating a rhythm with your hands and by breathing. So the rhythm could be like this, and then you're breathing. So we're doing it. And you want to make sure you do it for about 2 minutes. So you can put it on your clock and you can just be like this and then slow it down. And just allow your breathing to slow it down. And pause your eyes. And you can be lying down in your bed just doing this until finally it's so slowed down like this. And you're slowly breathing, bringing it into the rhythm until you pause. And then you would have slowly brought your body down into a rhythm. And you can do that in a night, like I told you, like that, or you can do it with pre-recorded sound. That's helpful, and it's not about visualize. You're not visualizing anything whilst you're doing that. You're just sleeping. You're just trying to sleep. And like I said, for 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes is the longest. And that'll help you to sleep. Of course, if it's a pre-recorded sound, then you can do that for an hour before, hour and a half before, it doesn't matter. You can leave on the pre-recorded sound as you sleep if you don't have a problem with that. Some people don't want any noise. Now that's very different because the jungle always makes noise. So in the night here, the jungle is always alive. But again, the noise that it makes, the crickets and the frogs, and the creatures, it's not when your body adapts the rhythm is very calming. It is for sleep. It's for sleep. So turn the temperature down. A lot of people, elderly people, will tell me, they feel cold and they sleep 75, 72. What they found is that the ideal temperature to sleep is 65. And some of you are like, that's cold. That's cold, just get a blanket. My blanket is right there. Just get a blanket. And it's wonderful because the jungle is hot. In the day it's hot. But in the night it gets cool. It gets cool. And so you want to make sure, and by the way, your body temperature naturally will get lower during the day. So you want to make sure you bring it down. Bring down the temperature low. Low. Get a blanket. Just bring it down low. Just trust the science. Bring it down low, 65, and cover up, because I know some ladies too are troubling with low hemoglobin levels, which is another thing to talk about. But bring it down, and that'll help you to fall asleep. 3 a.m. Make sure that at 3 a.m. the temperature is lower. The temperature needs to be lower. If the temperature is lower, for those of you that wake up at 3 a.m., if the temperature is lower at 3 a.m. than it was when you started out, you're gonna keep sleeping. That's gonna help you to sleep. You're like, temperature controls. I'm serious. No, this is natural in nature. When I sleep here, every single day at 3 a.m. it's colder than when I first fell asleep. Why? Because it's the morning. And in the morning in the natural world, it's just naturally colder. And so if you can somehow mimic that, maybe get some kind of timer that works with your AC or something, so that 3 a.m. it actually goes a little lower, 2 degrees, 3 degrees lower, then that's going to be helpful for you. That's going to be helpful in terms of you staying asleep. Make sure that you're not drinking water after 6 p.m., especially for the elderly folks, because then you're going to have to urinate more. I want you to drink water. Drink lots of water during the day, but not after 6 p.m. Let all of your liquids be finished. So that'll help you so that you don't have all the frequent urination. And for those that have frequent urination, another video about that. And I have spoken some about that, which is helpful if you're trying to sleep, because you don't want that to happen. Some people have a problem sleeping because of nightmares. Nightmares are a result of, one, eating dinner like a king. Remember, breakfast like a king, lunch like a queen, dinner like a pauper, or no dinner at all. That's going to help with nightmares. As well, don't watch horror movies. Don't look and think about all of these things, because then you're going to get trouble, right? Exercise. The Bible says the sleep of a laboring man is sweet. So exercise. Now, when I say exercise, I am not talking about whatever it is that you're doing. I'm talking, when I say whatever you're doing like a housewife. I'm not talking about your cooking and your cleaning. Your body's accustomed to that. I'm talking about doing something different. Riding a bicycle, going into the garden, lifting some weights, doing like real exercise, something different from your usual routine, something where you're sweating. Swimming is excellent. Swimming is excellent even for sleep, because swimming is very calming. Anything like that will help you to sleep. If you're not doing anything all day, most of the day, you're just helping a little here, helping a little there, and you haven't really sweated, and you haven't really labored, and you're having sleep troubles, that's the trouble right there. And then some people are so sleep deprived that even when they're tired, they can't fall asleep, because they've suffered themselves by being sleep deprived so much that they reach a level of fatigue and exhaustion that is preventing them from falling asleep naturally. Those people need to work on several things, all of the things that I mentioned here, and in just trying to relax. And this is where we come to turning off your worry, anxiety, and fear. Cease from thinking. A lot of people tell me when they lie down, your brain is just running, they're just thinking about all sorts of things, How am I going to cook this tomorrow? What am I going to do with this? What am I going to do with the school? How am I going to fix the project? Oh, I think I know what I need to do with that. It could be positive or negative, but the thoughts just are running. Now, when your thoughts are running, your body releases the hormones, cortisol, epinephrine, and they're shutting down melatonin and adenosine, because they're saying it's time for fight or flight. So they're telling you it's time actually to fight, fight with the dog. That's what they're telling you. They're triggering a rabid dog reaction. It's either we're going to fight with this dog, we're going to pick up a stone, we're going to pick up a wood or something to try to defend ourselves from the dog, or we're going to run from the dog. You're creating that very same reaction in the body whilst lying down in bed. Your glucose levels go up, because insulin levels go up, because your body's saying, I need sugar to the muscles because to fight or flight. It's saying, wake up, stay awake. That's what you're doing to your body as you lie there. So you're lying there trying to sleep, but your thoughts are saying, nope, it's time to fight or to flight. That's what it's saying. And so you can imagine that a body in that state cannot sleep. It cannot sleep. So you have to be able to shut off this. Now, some of the sedative herbs that I spoke about, those will help to shut that off. Doing all that I said in terms of breakfast, in terms of lunch, in terms of dinner like a pauper, in terms of practicing sleep, not only in terms of what we said before, but in terms of having recreation, in terms of having quiet time, whether it's for worship or for just moments of self-talk, and of having a weekly day of rest. That helps with this overthinking. What else helps with the overthinking? Well, you have to learn to change your thought. This takes practice. So as you're lying there, I tell people, because I'm a Christian, memorize scripture in the day and repeat it in the night. Repeat the scripture in the night. So some of the scripture in the night, you know, one of my favorite texts, a text from the Psalm, David said, I will now lay me down I will now lay me down and sleep in peace, for thou, God, makest me to dwell in safety. That relaxes me when I feel a little bit scared, you know, or I hear something outside that sounds a little bit scary. That relaxes me, because a lot of people feel fear in the night. There's a lot of fear associated with the night. And if you're fear again, fear triggers fight or flight response. So you want to do that, or you want to change your thoughts, counting sheep, change your thoughts to thinking about something that is happy. You know, a happy thought, a wonderful, you know, experience, something like that. Prayer, of course, is important for controlling that idea. Giving thanks, you know. You lie down in the bed and instead of thinking, how am I going to do this, or how am I going to figure it out, or I know what I'm doing, just give thanks. Lord, I'm so happy today for my husband that's lying next to me. I'm so happy for my daughter. And if there's nothing going on that's great in your life, oh Lord, I'm so happy that I have a bed to sleep in. Oh Lord, I'm so happy that I have a brain to think. You know, give thanks for whatever it is. Giving thanks and rejoicing, even if you're not a Christian, just being grateful, having an attitude of gratitude in the night instead of fear and anxiety and distress, you're going to be happiness and joy and peace. And happiness and joy and peace helps you to sleep. It helps you to sleep. So you have to be able to control that. And it takes practice. You know, like I said, you have to practice sleep. It takes practice. Don't give up. Don't give up on practicing sleep. So suppose you're lying there in 30 minutes and you're like, oh no, just do the same thing again. Breathe, repeat, breathe, slow breaths, lay your rhythm, attach yourself to something. Breathe deeply too before you go. So you need oxygen. Like I said, even if you're in an AC house, open your window a little bit. You need the air from outside. You need oxygen. Allow the oxygen to come in, and you know, think your happy thoughts, be grateful, rejoice, make sure your temperature is right, make sure your lights are off and you just have blue lights. If you're living in a place with noise, like I said, the forest has noise, but it's not the noise of, you know, somebody playing music or something like that. Then maybe you might need to add some earplugs if, you know, somebody's talking, because talking can be a very jarring sound. So you might want to put in some earplugs with that. If you're in a place where you can't block out the light, get one of those sleepy mask things that goes over your eyes so that you can really get it dark in the room. And be happy, be at peace, and you will sleep. God says, come unto me, all you that labor heavy laden, give you rest. That rest is more than sleep, but in this case, we want to have the rest of sleep. Nature will restore their vigor and strength in their sleeping hours if her laws are not violated. So nature wants to restore you as you sleep. We talked much about that in the science, and these are some practical things that you can do that can help you to sleep, and I have done with people, and it's really helped them to sleep. Remember, it's going to take practice. You might be getting, you know, you might used to be getting 3 hours and then you get 6. And then you say, okay, that's not bad. But you still need to get it up to 8 hours because of the 90-minute cycles. And so just give yourself some time, practice it until finally you'll create the habit. And your body will start doing it naturally. It'll be like, okay, it's time for me to sleep. And it'll do it naturally. Let your family and friends know that you're trying to help with your sleep, because people, you know, tend to call you late in the night. They tend to want to go to dinners or go, you know, grab a movie or whatever it is that they're going to do. And you get pulled in because you want to be a part of it. And so you have to let them know, I need sleep. I need to be restored. I need my memory. I need my creativity. I need my, you know, my motor skills working well. You know, what they found is that even for athletes like Usain Bolt, before he sprinted those meters and broke the world records, he was taking naps. and so what they're figuring out is that sleep is really important, and let your family know. Maybe they'll want to do it with you, or maybe not. But either way, you take care of yourself because you're worth it and you have value. All right, may God bless you, and I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful sleep today.